Hey guys, welcome to today's adventure. Obviously I'm way up north in the northern wilderness. There's tons of snow, it's super cold, but we're going to be doing an epic hot tent adventure with a hot tent, very posh, with Jeremy One Wildcrafter. We're going to be snaring some hares, and we're going to be enjoying the great outdoors. But I'd like to call out a shout out right now to World of Warships. They are a sponsor for this video. They've made everything possible. For now, let's jump right into the action. But at some point, we're going to have to say a proper thank you to World of Warships for making this video happen. Well, that's going to be home for the next couple of days. See what we get up to. We got a lot planned. How's it going, Jerry?
Good.
What are you up to?
Get our firewood cut so we can relax later. We're gonna do some relaxing, right?
I hope so. Do we ever?
No.
We try to, it never happens.
No.
We did not too bad on the way in. Jeremy, did I say way in again?
On the way in.
On the way. I feel like when I say way in, I feel like we're
it's
on the
wilderness living challenge again.
Yeah, and it's not. We're out here to have some fun. Do some winter camping, hot tenting. So Jeremy's got some wood ready here. But he set some snares a couple days ago, ended up with 4. So we did really well. I don't think we're gonna eat all 4, but we're definitely gonna eat probably 2. We'll see. We'll see. If we come back with some extra, Jeremy's definitely gonna use it for the rest of his year. He's almost winding up his big wild year. What do you got left, Jer?
18 days.
18 days.
And then it's hamburger time.
Chips.
Potato chips. New Year's Eve beer.
You'll have to follow his channel to figure out how much weight he gains back.
Yeah,
it's gonna be the big wild year next year, if you know what I mean. Yeah, we'll see what we get up to. We're gonna set some more snares. We're gonna hang out, some snowshoeing. You guys, show you all the beautiful things that we have around us up north, and maybe you'll get a chance to come along one day too. Maybe do your own adventure. Guys, I'm just back here digging through the footage. It looks freaking awesome. You guys are gonna love this adventure. I want to thank our sponsor right now, World of Warships. First off, World of Warships is a completely free-to-play online strategy war game simulation that lets you take control of many different real-life replicas of historical battleships. Honestly, the action is slower, more strategic. It's really the thinking man's action game. It's the perfect blend of action and strategy. You get command of a huge naval fleet, and as you play, you get to unlock new ships and work to dominate the ocean, pinned against 30 million players worldwide. Each battle is completely unique, even the weather has an effect. Ships are literally built off 3D scans of real-life historical ships. This game features over 200 ships originating from all over the world. Even better, the ships are completely customizable to your playstyle. And once you get into it, you see just the kind of depth that has gone into the game. Best of all, World of Warships is constantly upgrading, so there's always something new. In late 2019, they've test run submarines, and they'll be fully integrated into gameplay by 2020. What's cool about submarines is they both play an offensive and defensive role, but their best asset, of course, is concealment. To download the game, please use the link in the description box below, and you'll get 250 doublons, 1 million credits, the USS Charleston, 3 days premium time, 1 port slot, and more. Use code BattleStation2020. Big thanks to Wargaming for sponsoring this video. And I'm not wearing any pants.
Might just kind of do it proper and get the 2 hides off in one piece. If that's alright.
No knife?
Probably will end up using a knife at some point. So I'll split the hide down the leg, peel it open at the back, and then pull it off like a sock. It's roughly what happens. Cut the feet off. I used to just snap the bones like a tough guy and then cut them, but now I find the joint like a clever guy and then just cut it off at the joint. Then you don't have those jagged ends of the bones with your, if you cut them in a soup or something, or even handling them, like snapping the bones, you can sometimes cut yourself, and the last thing you need is a infected cut from some rabbit bones.
So the real question is, are we gonna eat the brains?
Is that a question for me?
Yeah. Have you been eating the brains?
I have not, actually.
No?
What did we read before? You need to eat 2 hares a day to meet your calories, but that includes the brains.
Everything.
Which have probably most of the fat on the rabbit, right? The hare.
All of them. Well, I mean, besides some in the bone.
They're very lean.
They don't have any body fat to speak of. So I would say it's probably 80-90% of all the fat in the rabbit. You get a tiny little bit in the bone. Oh, hare, whatever. To most people, it's a rabbit.
Yeah.
Here, it's a snowshoe hare, but to be specific, it's a snowshoe hare.
Different species.
They are different species, yeah.
Different genera.
Something interesting. So Jeremy's eating only wild foods all year. He's almost done. One interesting thing that has happened to Jeremy is he's doing blood tests, and your mercury levels were like
10 times.
10 times the legal limit, not the legal limit, but
like the suggested
healthy limit.
Threshold limit.
Yeah, so our fish and food guide delineates how many fish you should eat, how many big fish you should eat from certain water bodies, and it specifically says don't eat the skin of the fish.
Yeah.
But you've been eating a lot of skin of the fish, especially like the big catfish, right?
Yeah, and the organs.
Organs too. So I would think they would concentrate, like the mercury would concentrate definitely in the brain. But fish brain, probably anywhere the belly fat of the fish, like a pike, a lake trout, any big topwater, it just accumulates more and more as you go up the food chain.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't, like the fish can't excrete it, like we can't really excrete it very well. So it just kind of biotoxifies, right? Bioaccumulates, I guess to say.
We're actually not bad at it. Like it's kind of slow. So the problem is if you're getting more in you than you can excrete over time. So like they did a big study on tuna fish, for example, right? So college students who eat more than 2 cans of tuna per week, you basically accumulate faster than you can detoxify.
Right. So did they get dumber? Did they match them up with their GPA?
Great point average.
Yeah.
It does. It is a neurotoxin, so it does affect your brain, right? As a neurotoxin, like lead.
Yeah. So that's your excuse for this year for being a little slow?
Am I a little slow?
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, somebody did leave a comment that you're slower, but not like up here, not up here slow,
I
but
think they meant that I'm boring.
Body slow. No.
I've been moving at a different pace this year, I think.
Do you find you're slower?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're just taking it easy, more like you would, I guess, if you're living off the land. You're like, what's so rush?
Well,
it's only modern people that run. Like there was a comment, I think it was a native community who said, "Why are you running?" Like, people back home run for fun. Like, they question why they ran because it's not like you get things done faster. I mean, you only have to get a certain number of things done.
Yeah.
So anyway, what were you gonna say?
Just that one of the other tests we've been doing is resting metabolic rate and basal metabolic rate. So
like your heart rate.
Well, that and also just your whole metabolism. So how much energy you're burning at rest.
Mm-hmm.
And mine declined, like my basal rate, from 1,700 calories per day to 1,300 calories per day.
That'd be due to weight loss too, right?
Partly to weight loss, like just less body to maintain.
Yeah.
But they notice that with the Hadza that they have quite a bit lower resting metabolisms.
Mm-hmm. And what's your heart rate? Was your heart rate was lower too, right?
Yeah,
that's tied into the.
Yeah, mine has been down in the 50s.
Yeah, I think mine normally is below 60.
Oh yeah.
When I calculate it, so
yeah.
Maybe it's something to.
Yeah, mine was in the mid to high 60s, I think, before. And now it's been down like as low as 54.
Yeah, I think mine's normally around. It's definitely below 60, like the high 50s, I think.
Yeah.
On a normal day, so there's something to that, having to just have to pump less blood because your body's doing less work.
Yeah.
And plus it's slowing down. Like there's all sorts of research on this anyway. If you guys are interested, check it out. But check out Jeremy's channel because he's got a lot of that stuff going on, and it'd be interesting to see how the next year goes for him. How much the going back to regular foods is gonna change his body. But I definitely see a lot of bloating in your future, especially on the first day. Going back to those refined carbs,
stomach aches.
The wheat is definitely gonna have a huge impact on your gut. It's gonna you're gonna gas up like a balloon.
Yeah.
So go easy. That's my suggestion.
Well, and I don't think I'll ever eat the same way that I did before. Like
as much.
Yeah.
Quantity.
Again, before I just kind of ate out of habit, but I think because I'm a little more intentional about my food now, I've built a lot of food awareness in the last year, and the health changes that have come with that. So I think now, kind of coming off of a real paleo diet, I'm going to be interested to follow and video a little bit about eating a modern paleo diet. So what's doable in grocery stores and farmers markets and things.
Yeah.
And then see, because we will keep following our physiology and blood chemistry until June. So we'll do 6 more months of health data and see how it moves after reintegrating some of our modern foods.
We're going to see if we can't get ourselves some birch bark, get this fire going, and get our rabbit hare stew going, so that it can tenderize, so that it can be ready for dinner. Can't really walk around anywhere here without snowshoes. So that's what we're going to do. These modern snowshoes, these work as good as the other ones. I think they work better personally than the wooden ones. Oh, everything I touch makes my hands wet. Wood's a little bit drier. We didn't end up with too much, but maybe that's enough. Maybe we'll have to go do another run. I don't know. We got some twigs here Jeremy already collected. These should be nice and dry. Might be a tricky kind of firelight here with not enough birch bark.
All right, fire's going now. We're gonna add some natural ingredients to our wild hare. Jeremy's got some Jerusalem artichokes. I had meant to do a piece on Jerusalem artichokes at one point. They're not from Jerusalem. They have nothing to do with them. They're also called sunchokes. So if you put these anywhere, they just kind of root and then they spread and they shoot up. Sunflower-ish looking flower. Yep. I guess it's like an orange, yellow, big thing. We have some back around. Well, they're all over the place. They were just supplanted everywhere.
Yep.
Are they full of carbs or? Kinda?
Yeah, but it's not starch. It's inulin.
Inulins makes a toot. So we'll see how my body reacts to that. Should be interesting in the hot tent. And Jeremy added some mushrooms as well. What kind of mushrooms? Chicken fats?
I think so.
Huh, interesting name.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see if I'm allergic to those too. I have reacted to Jeremy's mushrooms on more than one occasion. Yeah, honey mushroom.
Malaria.
Gave me the runs real bad, Jeremy. Real bad. That was on the time we did the bear. We did wild meal and then we did a bear steak on the coals. And then by midnight driving home, I had to pull over because I felt sick and I had a nap. And by all next day. So some people apparently react to the honey mushrooms. You might be one of them, so be careful. Eat small quantities first.
Not gonna fit.
Moosh it.
Oh yeah. Barely.
So into the pot all that goes, and Jeremy's got a pre-prepared bone stock, I think from deer bones. Boil it all down. We've tried to eat deer bones before. It leaves like a pasty film on your mouth, but I think if you do it as a bone broth, it's a lot better. It's as long as it is at a certain temperature, it doesn't coat your mouth and harden. It's kind of a really gross feeling, and it just like sticks to the roof. Anyway, as a bone broth, it works. So hey, that's another way to make use of your deer fat. You get a deer later in the season, loaded with fat. So traditionally they're used for candles. So we're gonna mix all this together, and then we can go for a walk. We can actually go and hunt, see if we can get a grouse or a rabbit or hare, and maybe even set some more snares for tomorrow. That'd be interesting to check. Got a trail camera I want to put on a snare because I'm curious to see how the snares, how effective they are, I should say, as far as, you know, a trapping device. A lot of people think they're inhumane. So if I put a trail camera on it and I see how long it takes to be effective, then I'll know. Okay guys, we got one snare set here on a pretty prominent trail. I've added two sticks here because there was nothing really tied to. So there's a stick in the ground here, and then there's another one over here, and I've wired them together. And then the snare is just in between here. And then I've added a couple branches here to kind of direct them in. And of course we got our little chin up bars at the bottom that helps them lift up their chin so that when they get to the snare, they know to put the head through that little hole. Interesting thing about snaring is you have a wild animal that can literally go anywhere in the forest, free range 100%, and you're trying to direct them into a hole that big in the forest voluntarily. You're not trying to force them through it, you're trying to guide them through it, or just put it where they happen to be. That's a pretty tall order. You think about golfing and you're trying to get that little ball in that little hole over 400 yards. That's kind of like this, except you're dealing with a smart wild animal and they know there's something's up, but you gotta convince them that it's fine to put their head through there. That's what the snaring game is all about. That's what getting wild food's all about, fooling your prey. And we are predators. I've also added some runners here, so these are just to continue them to funnel through down their trail, because I've packed over here by walking with the snowshoes and there's nothing really stopping them. On the other side there's trees, but on this side it's open, so I want them to continue to use this run here all the way through and down. So by adding these little light branches, nothing major, they can still go through and around them if they want to, but they won't want to because the lane of least resistance is just down here.
This I don't like on the hump, but it may not be too bad if we lock it up a little bit here. Kind of a solid branch, like so. And then I want to get a V shape and try to keep this looking natural. I do it like a V this way. Just trying to make a, so that's a bit of a funnel here. And we're going to add a bit more here. And add another V down below. And then a V on the other side. It's a V shape. So that makes the hare look like, hey, I can get through there still, no problem. So you can see the pretty beat down trail through here, all the way back into that cover. So I think that's pretty good. We want this to be perpendicular to the trail so that, I mean, it all flows perfectly. There. Because I'm worried that that one's, once it gets here and it sniffs that, it's going to be like, nah, I don't want to do that. Now we got it coming over a hump, and then it's going to want to duck through and get into cover there. I like that one. I think that one will work. And we'll find out whether we are successful with our snaring. We're going to do some snares today, or do some snares tomorrow. And maybe we'll get a grouse on the ground, or maybe we'll run into a snowshoe hare. There's always that possibility. They hide real well, though. I only barely see their tips of their ears and the dot of their eye, and that's it. They could literally be anywhere in here, anywhere, watching me, not scared. They're not long distance runner, they're short sprinters, and they rely on the camouflage very heavily. Well, here's set number 2, I guess. I don't know, I got 2 or 3 out now. So this one's on a bit of a run as well, just coming through here. And then I've added a couple branches over here to direct it into the snare right there. So hopefully we get one out of all these sets. Check back tomorrow. There's lots of sign out here anyway. So I'm not really surprised we haven't seen any. They're really hard to spot. Really hard to spot. They're the master hiders. The master hiders of the woods. Could be anywhere. At any time. There we go, set number 3. This is on another little run. Well, this is kind of like a feeding patch, feeding bush. I don't know what they're doing in here, but they're spending a lot of time down in here. And they're kind of going to ring around the rosy. So, hey, we might get one there. Oh, we've got a dead hardwood tree here, which is going to burn a lot hotter for a lot longer when we're cooking our food. We're going to head out for a walk, see if we can't find some grouse or some rabbits, hares. And we want that fire to keep going. We're actually going to have to stay around this little neighborhood too, because we don't want the water to completely evaporate. And then hair is going to be all dry and not cooked, and then we won't be eating till like forever. So anyway, let's collect the firewood now while it's still light out. We got about 2 hours left. So we're going to do a little foray here, and we'll save the big adventure, big hunt for tomorrow. Hopefully get some snares out too. We got today and tomorrow, so we still got quite a bit of time to collect some food. What's going on with the food?
I had a peek. It looks good. It's like it's simmering.
Is it cooked?
It's getting there.
It's probably chewy.
You can see it spilled over too, eh? So it has been boiling.
Of course, order of business is get some wood. We didn't get enough wood to last the night, but we don't probably need a ton of wood. Just to sit around. We want it to be nice and warm, dry out. Overnight, we won't need firewood because it's pretty warm out. But we'll collect wood from around here and drag it. And we can always cut it and process it if it's near camp.
Time for a new blade.
Yep. Royal 21, you can buy it in my store.
Yep.
Yep. Well, we grabbed a couple more logs real quick. That's a big dead standing one. Jeremy grabbed a couple over here too. So we got enough laying around here that we can just come grab it as we need it. Probably cut a bunch more so we don't have to start fire from scratch in the morning. It's always nice to have a warm place to get dressed in. And we're about to lose light. We have a flashlight, but it's not all the same, is it? When you got the flashlight, it's pretty dark in here. So make sure I get the flashlight out now, and we'll be set to eat. Now we're in the lap of luxury. I brought myself a camp chair. I don't usually, but for winter camping, man, this back support thing is luxury. And don't tell Jeremy I got some rice crackers. Oh. Sorry, I'm not supposed to talk with my mouth full. I got some rice cakes. Jeremy doesn't know about he's eating his big wild year, so he doesn't get to have snacks while he waits for his wild food. He has to wait for his wild food legit. So I'm gonna put my feet up. Fire's almost hot. Food's almost cooked. But this is really all we've eaten all day. Always appreciate my modern foods. Always. Oh, here we go. Ready for this?
I am so ready for this.
Oh, there we go. So
Oh,
that's
good.
been stewing for 4 hours, we figured?
Yep.
Since 2. It's about 6 p.m. now, totally dark. What you got in there? You got the deer bone broth.
Yep.
Made out of long bones, the leg bones and everything.
Rib bones, leg bones.
If you eat deer and you take the fat off of a deer and
Yeah.
try to eat it,
The fat's very waxy.
it's waxy. That's a good word. And it coats the top of your mouth.
Yeah.
It like literally makes a film.
So what I do when I make the broth is I let it boil or simmer. Then I let it cool all down, and all the fat comes to the surface and it solidifies. Then I just lift that all out, and then I'll keep simmering, and then I'll let it cool again, and then any fat that's left will again come to the top and cool down, and I'll scoop that out again.
It sounds like you're getting rid of the bone broth then.
Well, I'm getting rid of the fats.
Okay. So what's
But
what's
in
left?
the liquid, you still have all the,
Okay.
what do you have? Collagen and proteins and
Sure.
lots of good stuff.
Nutrients. All the
Some nutrients. Less than you would think. I just read a guy's,
Less than you would think,
yeah,
because there's not that much in there.
like less calcium, for example,
Okay.
considering you just boiled a bunch of bones.
We've got the artichokes in there, Jerusalem artichokes. Those were harvested actually not very far from here. There's a patch that's gone feral. I'm going to add some adobo spice. You can't add adobo spice.
Just send me a crate for Christmas.
Yeah, right? Put some in your pocket for later.
A whole box of adobo. I still have some of the original adobo
On the original packaging.
made by the Wooded Beardsman's wife. With
Oh, yeah. That's old.
pre-packaging.
Mm-hmm.
You have a really popular video on your channel where we went out and did a catch and cook snowshoe hare.
Yeah, and we ate it right away.
Yeah,
Well, same day. Well,
Like-
same hour.
short cook, and it was really chewy.
But this doesn't even taste gamey. Maybe it's the bone broth mixture.
Could be. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me.
Not that gamey's bad. It's just, it's a thing. Right? If something's really gamey, you don't like it.
No.
We're gonna go set and check some more snares tomorrow. Go after grouse. Maybe do a fish. We can do an ice fish if you want to.
Yep.
There's all sorts of stuff to do around here. So
Yep.
keep watching.
Sky's the limit.
So that one's empty. You can see the trail cameras here. The snares just up over here. Doesn't look like anything went through last night. None of these are fresh. So that's a 0 for 1 so far. I'll keep going, hopefully I have better luck. I don't know if you can see it way down in there on the trail. Lots of droppings in here. There's a snare right there and a dropping there. It looks like that rabbit actually went around that spot. Little bugger. I don't know if you guys can see what he did, but he went over here instead of through here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna block that off. So it has to use that trail next time. There, that's the key right there. So when that hare comes through, I don't want that quite that close there. I'll move it like this. So we want that hare, now I can't go through this way. I want that hare to go through here because he went through there, obviously sensed that the snare was there, and that flimsy branch, the hare is not going to be bothered to step on it and push it away. So anyway, that's a better set. Maybe we got it on another one. You always got to make sure you bring a gun with you just in case something jumps out at you. Maybe a grouse hanging by or snowshoe hare laughing at you because you missed it. Oh yeah, okay, so we missed one. You know how we know we missed one? I'll show you how we know we missed one. Shoot. So that's a big old miss for us. Yeah, snare got moved out of the way. See where it got pushed to? Over here. So we missed a hare last night. It pushed through. Knocked my snare down. Pushed it out of the way. Get these just how you want them, so that they deploy how you want them to. So that hare just nudged it and then it closed and then it pushed it out of the way. I know there's a hare back in there somewhere. Maybe we can go find them right now. You want to know where hares hide during the day. This would be a likely spot. I'll hobble down here. Might be able to scare them out a little bit. Perfect indentation of the back feathers of a grouse drumming up here. Puff up, bat out their arms, and then their fan comes out here, and you can see all the little feathers that have spread out as it was drumming here. Well, since we're skunked for hare and grouse so far, we're gonna have to rely on some pre-collected foods as it goes. I always have pre-collected foods on the go. I also can't get a deer. Have you guys noticed? I've been trying, can't get a deer. Been bow hunting quite a bit, gun hunting quite a bit, not happening. So I'm gonna take some venison out. That's from 2015. It's aged since 2015, so it's 4 years old. Not in the fridge, of course, in the freezer. The meat's fine. It actually tenderizes for a long period of time. I've heard people not eat venison for a full year. In fact, they eat the deer before that because the aging process continues. And I don't typically let my deer hang because it's usually pretty warm at the time of year that I get a deer when I've gotten a deer. So aging it in the refrigerator is ideal, obviously at 5 degrees Celsius. You guys got to translate that with fridge temperature. But if you don't have fridge temperature, you do the next best thing, which is you cut up your deer, wrap it, freeze it, and then pull it out and let it sit in the fridge for a week or two. And that all those same bacteria are there that help break the meat down and tenderize it. So anyway, we're going to throw this in the pot and we're going to let that stew for the day. By afternoon it should be ready, and right now we can start working on our trout because that's going to be what's for breakfast. That fish is looking and smelling really, really good. And Jeremy got some raccoon fat, rendered raccoon fat. Smells like regular oil. Kind of a little bit of like paint, which is kind of weird. So just gonna throw some of that on that fish. We'll fatty it up a little bit. Probably should have put a little bit down before put it on the tin foil, but hey, it's gonna be all good. Drizzle that on. Well guys, this is the life here. We got a warm, hot tent, a hot tent. We got fish sizzling away here. It smells awesome in here right now. We've got our venison tucked away back there. That'll be for tonight. So we're gonna let that simmer. Jeremy just took off. He's gonna go get some firewood. There's I don't want to leave the fish here by itself. It's one of those things that you can easily ruin if you overcook fish. You had dry fish or any dried meat for that matter. Having good meat's a risk. You just want it kind of on the edge of done. Well, trout you want it to be completely done, but any other meat, it goes too far, it's not good. Fish is one of those things you got to watch. The stew is a forever thing. You just keep adding more red meats to that. Grouse goes fine in there too. So we kind of come up with a plan, and we're gonna go back to that spot I was at this morning, and we're gonna double down on snares there. So Jeremy's gonna put his version of snares, and we're gonna see which ones do better. Obviously, he got skunked. He's got a different spin on things. He likes to set them kind of different than I do. So you might learn a thing or two from him.
I hear fish cooking.
Which would you get?
Not much. I set 3 snares though. And I just cut this on the way back to see where we were at with fish.
Almost ready.
All right.
Smells like
Fishy Wadobo.
it smells like a lot of people would be invited or attracted to this camp area right now.
Yeah.
It smells good.
I love this camp area. There's a stove, there's hot fish, there's a shotgun hanging over there, pile of firewood. Whew.
That's hot. I gave you the head because I'm figuring you probably would go for it.
Yep.
Guys, keep watching. Jeremy can show how he sets his snares. It's a little looser than mine.
And
like mine is like tight, and like I'm like it's really trying to influence the animal to do something I want it to do. And yours are just like, I'm gonna put 2 sticks in the trail, and then it works.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it doesn't work.
No.
But
Fine.
I would dress my areas up a little bit more.
I didn't used to snare that way. I used to find the trail and then like follow it until it went under a branch or close to a tree.
Which is what I'm doing.
And then I would hang a snare off of it.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like, why work so hard? If there's a really nice packed down trail and it crosses your trail, just got 2 sticks, cross them, put a snare on. The rabbits aren't that strong. They can't drag a stick very far.
Yeah, they just jump and give up, jump and give up, jump and give up, and then anyway.
And they die.
Yeah, they die. It doesn't kill them by suffocating them. It actually chokes off the blood supply from their head. In case you're curious.
Oh, interesting.
That's what I've heard. Because you're not gonna compress a windpipe.
No. Especially because these are not locking snares.
Yeah, you got to use a lot of force on the windpipe to crush it.
Yeah.
So it's really just compressing the blood supply to the head. It takes
Like
about
ball snares work like that?
I think so. Takes about a minute.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's see what we can do here. Use the 20 gauge. We don't need a 12 for small game. Just load up with some whatever we got, steel, lead. It's all good. Maybe we'll get a grouse or 2 or 3. That'll be pretty fun. What are you running?
Oh. My combo Valmet. 12 gauge over 222 Remington.
We've seen that one before.
Yeah.
So you're gonna use a slug this time on the rabbit?
Slug them. No. I'm
Like
gonna
last
use,
time?
Yeah.
You did do it
Well,
once.
No, what happened is, so I've got this little adapter, right, that shoots 22 long rifle.
Yep.
Drop them in the back and put that plug in, and then you can shoot 22 long rifle out of the 222 barrel.
Yep.
And what happened is I put the plug in backwards so it wasn't firing.
Oh, I see.
And then we shot the rabbit with like a full-on 222
Yeah.
Remington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did the job.
Yep.
So we found a moonshining operation in the middle of the woods. Let's go have a look, see who's making the brew. She looks like a pretty slick operation. Somebody's been making some maple syrup. We got the evaporator tins on the top and the big feeder down here. It's all tarped in. This is actually Jeremy's setup. This is how he makes his maple syrup. I'm relegated to a nice little vat, about that big, and he's got one pan twice the size of that. So yeah, Jerry's got a nice setup. He's got some wood over here pre-cut, ready to go. I think he intends to make a cabin out here. You're gonna make a cabin here?
That's the plan.
Yeah, maple sugar shack. Got an interesting snow indentation here. There's nothing starting here, and all of a sudden you can see a trail here, and then footprints going that way. That's a grouse that landed here, and then it started walking that way. So maybe it prefers to roost up here in the tree here, and so that's from this morning, and then it did its rounds. So here's another of those tracks here. This is where it's landed here again, walked this way. You can see it walked over here, and then it put one wing down there, and then it put the other wing down there, and then it kept going that way, all the way up around. So it's been roosting in these trees, I would guess. Move the trail camera over on this spot over here, because this is the spot where that rabbit had actually nudged it. So it's not afraid of it, but it kind of moved it away. It's better now, and there's a pretty strong trail here, so I think this should work. I'm gonna catch up with Jeremy. He's up setting up a couple snares based on my scouting. I scouted this whole clump this morning, so we're gonna kind of do a perimeter. He's got the sled anyway. He's all set to go. So catch up with him and see what he's up to. He's gonna show me a different kind of way to snare, an easier way, he says. He says I'm doing it the hard way, or so he kind of off. He didn't say it was. He said I'm working harder than I need to. So he was gonna put another one on this trail, but he said, well, why double up, even though we know they're using this as a pretty strong trail. So let's go catch up. I'm just following the sled prints over here. Haven't caught up to Jeremy yet, but I see he's got one snare here on a pretty good pathway here. There's a kind of a trail that meets, and then it congregates over here. Now, I would have probably brushed that in a little bit, at least kind of guided them in, but hey, we're gonna see if it works. And so we'll check in tomorrow and see who's more successful. The guy who doesn't do too much effort into it, more than necessary, or me who puts too much effort into it. I might never catch up to him at this rate if I stop at every set he makes. Plus me setting up the trail camera took forever. Anyway, here's another set. This is a really good trail. They've come down here multiple times. So he's just got this set up here, no chin up stick. I think I'm going to improve the set a little bit. I'm going to be sneaky, and I'm just going to add one stick there, and then I'm going to put another one on the other side here, like so, just to direct them in a little bit. And then I'm going to do a chin-up bar. I used to like to use something like really soft on the chin-up bar. Hopefully Jeremy doesn't get too upset about this messing up with the snares. I don't think it's messing it up. I think it's improving it. I learned this from somebody else. So they will push through anything flimsy like that because they know it's not going to bother their undercoat. It's not something really weird. And that's just to get them to direct their head in there. That's pretty perfect natural.
That's what I was thinking. Hard to say no to that spot.
The only thing about that one, well, not
Trail splits.
yeah, it splits, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could just set one there and then set one on the other side.
Yep.
You could.
Or I could put a little blocker there. Or,
Yeah, you could
but
do that.
I feel like we have lots of snares in really good spots, so
So you're feeling confident. You're not feeling greedy.
no. No. Not greedy or needy,
I'm not needy.
but I'm pretty confident that we're going to have a bunch of hares tomorrow morning.
Hopefully.
Yeah, because there's still, like, even you can tell from here, there's more good trails up ahead, so
Yeah.
it's a hot spot here.
We might not even have to go anywhere else. We'll just stay here and spend the day, and then we can do a trap run tomorrow.
Yep.
And see what we get.
Sure.
That'd be fun.
Like instead of going grouse hunting later, you mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll see.
See how much time we have?
Yeah.
It's only 12:30.
Oh, shit, is it?
Yeah.
We got lots of time.
Yeah.
We'll see if we get, well, we'll do a run and see, put as many as we can out, see what we get.
Yeah, so like this one here, I just wanted to go real minimal because the trail's really tight, right? Like it's got pretty steep banks. So, you know, the rabbits aren't going to veer too much. They're going to follow that little highway. So all I did is I put a snare on a stick and just kind of angled in there, centered it, and that should be all it needs for this spot. I ran out of my brass wire, so I've moved on to a new roll. So this is like a heavier gauge of stainless wire. So it's the first snare I've made using that particular wire. Again, it's another good heavy run. It's not as deeply troughed as the last one though, so I did put 2 little guide sticks just to kind of keep them centered on the trail.
So I think Jeremy's philosophy is that he likes to use a trail, rabbit trail that's been used more than once, rather than just a single. Like if a single rabbit could just be exploring to see if there's new food. If it has at least 2, then it's a run, especially when you're getting snow all the time. 2 is pretty, you know, it's all you're gonna get. Well, we're running out of light. We only flushed 1 grouse up from a tree not too long ago. We've been bushwhacking. Lots of sign around here, but it's hard to spot a hare or a grouse in this thick stuff. So we're gonna head back to camp, and hopefully our dinner's ready because we haven't eaten much of anything today. Yeah, look at that. 5-year-old venison. That's not the venison. That's the rabbit.
Yeah.
They said shouldn't be any bones in there. I don't do bone in.
Yeah, no, that venison looks real good.
It's looking close. I mean, it's probably edible right now, but
yeah,
get a little bit more. I think we got, what, did we get over a dozen snares out? I think?
Easily.
Yeah, probably.
Because I set 3 this morning, and then I set at least another 5.
And I had, what, 4 out?
You had 4, so that's 12.
12 plus what we did today?
Well, plus what you did today, because I already counted the ones I did today.
Okay. I don't like, maybe did
you
like
do 3 or 4?
3 or 4, maybe 4.
Yeah. So we might have 15 snares out.
15 snares.
So you're allowed 5 a day in Ontario, and I think it's a possession limit of 15, so you technically don't want to set so many snares that you're likely to catch more than your 5. But between us, we can catch 10. So the likelihood of us catching more than 10 on 15 snares, even though we're the 2 most awesome snare setters within a mile of here at least, like the odds are we're not going to go over.
That's like 66,
6.
yeah, 6%.
Yeah.
So that would be the devil acting on us if we actually exceeded that. That would be a pretty high success rate for snaring.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty high. We'd have to be in an area that nobody ever snared or hunted for years for us to get that many.
And
but
have
it's
good sets.
Certainly possible.
Right.
I think our sets
Like,
are pretty good.
high hair abundance and good sets.
Yeah, our sets are pretty good.
Yeah, they're awesome.
That's the best thing about snaring for me.
Yeah.
It's just like you wake up in the morning, it's like Christmas because you get to, you know, you get to open your presents.
Yeah.
I don't know, to me it's fascinating. It's still like set a trap and then to anticipate the next morning.
Yeah.
That's why I was so amped up to do it yesterday, to get them out.
Yeah.
And then have something to check even though they weren't successful. It was kind of tough to set them yesterday.
Trapping's really good, like for meat trapping, right? It's like it works while you sleep.
Yeah.
And like there's a famous quote about a guy and horses. He calls them profit eaters. Couldn't stand the thought of owning something that's eating while you're sleeping.
Oh.
Traps, on the other hand, are working while you're sleeping.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they feed you the next day.
And look how much walking we've done, like miles and miles. We haven't seen an animal.
I saw a squirrel today.
Did you see? I think I heard a squirrel.
A couple blue jays.
I heard a chickadee.
But that's it.
I haven't seen anything move.
No. And we've seen grouse tracks, and we've seen a lot of hare tracks. Fox tracks. Yeah. Maybe fisher tracks. And that is it. Yeah,
it's pretty dead here.
Yeah.
Everything hides.
Yeah.
It's tough winter.
Here's an abundant story for your viewers. You and I hunted how many times?
For which? The deer?
From the small cabin.
Well,
almost
10 each?
Almost 10, but we did goose hunt a couple mornings, right? So we didn't deer hunt those mornings, almost 10 times each, and saw 0 deer.
You saw 0 deer.
I saw 0 deer.
I saw Well, I saw 3 one day. Plus, I heard another one. I'm 100% sure it was a deer.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 other times. So that's 5.
And then I went to Manitoulin.
Yeah.
I did an afternoon hunt and I saw 0 deer. But then the next day I saw 6. And the day after that I saw 8.
Yeah.
And shot 1.
Yeah. Well, Manitoulin Island's like Michigan.
Yeah.
It's
actually
Ontario's
a
Michigan.
piece of Michigan.
Is it?
I think.
Well,
it's
yeah.
that piece of southern
connected.
limestone that's like separated by the Great Lakes, right?
Yeah, there's lots of deer there. You guys are spoiled in the U.S.
Not literally a piece of Michigan. You can't take it. I've never snared a limit, but I don't know if I've ever tried that hard.
No. I'm pushing you to the limits.
Yeah. To boldly go where no rabbit snarer has gone before.
I see you split one before you do that. Just like.
See me split one?
Yeah, I want to see you split one.
Well, I already split them all.
Everybody wants to see you split wood. Split wood for people.
All right.
Holy.
There.
Good work, Jeremy.
There. Good.
Amazing.
I know. I've been practicing.
Is it a hatchet or an axe?
That one's an axe.
It's an actual axe. It's always fun to make fun of somebody's hatchet. It's not a hatchet, it's a little axe.
Small axe.
It's a small axe. It's Jeremy's first time carrying wood in here.
First time.
You're spilling it everywhere. So the goal for now is to get this fire so hot we could wear shorts in here, but we won't. Right, Jer?
Maybe briefly.
Briefly wear shorts in here? That doesn't sound right. Oh, we'll see. What's that? It's a pun?
Yeah.
It's a pun? We'll see. I don't know what the pun means, but...
Briefs, shorts.
Oh, I get it. Briefly. I get it now. We'll get this right hot in here because we have the whole rest of the evening to relax. And that's what we intend to do. Get all the wood cut. Lots of wood cut. Jerry's splitting some outside there. And we're going to enjoy some venison stew. Still got a fish to cook up for tomorrow. And we figured about 20 snares. We actually went out and set 4 more. We just can't get enough.
Yeah.
Just keep going. So see if we can get a record limit of hares. That would be pretty sweet.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll. You guys are fogging up. It's so humid in here.
Yeah.
Hot and humid. By the time we get this floor melted, it'll be time to go.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready to eat. Bring me my food.
Yes, sir. Delphine and I have eaten 100 pounds of wild rice this year. At least. Because we've ordered 2 50-pound bags.
100 pounds.
Yeah. It's pretty good wild carb. Canadian harvested.
Do you think you could have done it without the rice? Being 100% truthfully honest?
Well, I'm not sure. So being 100% truthfully honest, I think having the rice on hand made us a little bit lazier about collecting some of the carbs that we otherwise would have spent all of our time collecting.
I don't know. I think you would have had a hard time, personally. I think you would have been very lethargic.
A harder time.
Lethargic a lot of the times.
And I don't feel deprived, really, in this year. Like, I haven't had an alcoholic drink since...
That's something. You should probably try to stay off coffee.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm going to try to. Like, and the thing is, like, you've been off it for a whole year. Why go back?
Yeah, I feel like coffee is kind of in the same department as cigarettes. It's like, if you need it in the morning to feel normal,
Yeah.
and I don't, I'm ahead of you, right?
Yeah.
You need alcohol at the end of the day to make yourself feel right. I'm ahead of you.
Mhm.
It's something I don't need. So, it's like,
And those things are expensive.
it's nice to have, I don't know, I think it's like nice to have a desire that you can satisfy, because that's ultimately what people are about. Like, if you have an urge and you can satisfy it, you're like, oh, that's great.
Mhm.
So I think partly that's why people drink, smoke, have coffee. It's like, I really need my coffee. And you can enjoy it. It's like, because you have nothing, I mean, no shade on anybody out there, but if that's what you look forward to every day is your coffee, it's like, there's probably some other things you can look forward to that are maybe healthier or more dynamic or whatever.
Yeah.
More constructive. Like tomorrow we get to look forward to whether we have 20 snowshoe hares trapped or not.
Yeah.
And that is pretty cool because we did a bunch of work for that. It's getting you on the fog here.
Well, I think it's normal for humans to indulge in certain things, but historically they were like a periodic indulgence, where now
Yeah, seasonal.
most people can indulge every single day inexpensively, right?
Yep.
You can eat pie every day for the same price as eating healthy food.
Yeah, for sure. Stick around for the big finale.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Hope we get 20. But 5 would be good. 10 would be awesome.
Yeah.
We'll see. See you guys in the morning. Well, good morning, everybody. Where'd your cot go?
I folded it up. Let's look how much space there is now.
I know, it's very roomy. It's the big day. It's the big reveal.
Yeah.
I'm excited because we only got like probably a dusting of snow, like maybe about an inch.
I don't know.
So it probably didn't affect our traps too much. No. Hopefully. Make your guesses now because it's your last chance of making guesses. So did we get 20 or less? Well, maybe we got a double.
Maybe.
Is it possible? No, like is it possible to get like two in one trap?
I don't think so.
That would be a weird one,
Yeah.
right? Maybe caught like a fox trying to get the hare.
Yeah.
So it like got it out, but it put its neck in at the same time. That would be a weird one. It's like when you catch a fish and it has a fish in its mouth already.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe a fox had a hare in its mouth and went in the snare.
Remember Wilderness Living Challenge when we each caught a pike and they wrapped themselves around each other and we just netted them both at once?
Double.
That was the first season.
Double header.
Yeah.
So we got definitely 20 or less. If we got 10, that's two limits.
Yeah.
So
that would be about 50% success on our snares, which is probably about as good as I ever do.
yeah, 50 is pretty high.
Yeah.
Whew, she's a bit chilly outside today, that's for darn sure. It's gone well below the point of freezing. Yesterday we were right around freezing point. Now it's super cold, which should be good for our snares because the hares got to keep warm, and to keep warm they move around and they got to eat. They have no fat, no body fat, so it's not like they can sit around and hibernate. So we should be in for a pretty good day. Gave Jeremy a new tool, so the pocket knife sharpener. So it's a smaller version of the full-blown work sharp. So this is one you can just put in your pocket.
It doesn't have the little hook groove that the other one has,
No.
which I find pretty handy on that other one, but it still has the 20 degree guide. And what I noticed on this one is that it has like a medium grit instead of the fine and the coarse. They kind of went somewhere in between.
Right.
You could probably use this one for like sharpening an axe too. I could do my axe right now.
Yeah, it's more of a like that's probably one you want to start off with today because your knife's not that bad. It just needs a little touch up.
Yeah.
Those are all available on the website too. All the stuff I use, I got the Boreal 21 on there, which is the saw we've been using, and a couple different work sharps. We got the pocket sharpener and the full-size sharpener. We got the adobo spice, and we're going to be adding some more stuff as we go. It's as good as every other time we ate it. Well, we've only eaten it twice this time. 2 fish, 2 5-pounders. All right, let's get out in the trail. We're gonna go check our trap line. It's the big moment. I'm pretty pumped about this. This is what I look forward to more than anything right now. And as far as winter goes, I'm not even really big on the ice fishing thing anymore. It's like whatever. This is more exciting. I think you guys probably find this more exciting too. Sit on a frozen lake and try to catch a fish through the ice. We got to make ice fishing more exciting, Jeremy.
Do we?
Yeah, I think we got to get that big ice saw out. Get some underwater. Bring the guns with us.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like we get a big cutout and get some underwater cameras. That might be more fun to see what's going on. So that trap failed. We missed one here. So now we're 0 for 1. It just pushed it out of the way. This here is all new. Sign here. That wasn't there before. And the rabbit went up here and he bypassed our trap. Again, he went over this way. The snare's right there. Smart bugger. So here's our other well-worn path. Here's our trail camera. There's our snare. We got nothing. So we're gonna pull this camera out because we don't need it anymore. I think a rabbit went around that one too, Jer. I think he went around this way. He went the long way around, dodged it. We don't give these little guys credit enough. They're smart, very, very smart. They can smell the snare. I'll have to dig up some old footage and show you guys of them smelling the snare. They actually smell it. So that's dodge number 6. We're 0 for 6, unbelievable. So this one's 0 for 7. And Jeremy's inspecting the other one right now, and it's a 0 for 8 on the other side. You saw some fox tracks. Wonder if the fox ate that one.
Yeah.
Because that's
Pulled it off of the.
that snare is missing. Busted off at the top.
Yeah.
So if you saw fox tracks over there, we might have got one stolen here. Came back this way. I think it retraced its steps and went back that way. When we look forever, we'd probably end up tracking down where it ate it. They usually like to take it away, a little bit away from the scene of the crime and chew on it. So we lost one there, making us 0 for, I don't know if you count that or not. Active nature impeded us on that one. So I think that's number 8.
10.
0 for 10?
Yeah.
No way. Did one even go through that one? No.
Popped around.
Oh, it pushed it through.
No, that was already bent a little bit, I think.
Was it? It looks a...
Pushed under.
It pushed under.
Oh.
Yeah. They pushed under this one here. See how it's tilted backwards?
Tipped a bit.
Yeah, it's got to be, for it to work properly, it's got to be at least like that.
Ah.
Yeah, it's hard to see in there.
No, I can see it.
0 for 11.
Ah.
So good.
What's happening, Jeremy? Brutal. That's number 12. 0 for 12. Brutal. 0 for 13. No. That was a really good one. Did it move it at all?
No.
It didn't even go through.
No.
So the fox track this morning came up, went in the woods there, and did the end part of our trap line right here. We should have been checking our snares all night like the fox was checking our snares all night. Maybe we'll have to get the fox. We'll get the game caller out here, sit up on this field, and see if we can't get our revenge. See the tracks all up here. And Jeremy's trying to figure out where it came from. Christmas fox hunt. Revenge. I want my hare back, so I'm gonna harvest the fox meat as substitute for my hare meat. Maybe get a nice pelt out of it too. This would be a good place to do it. We could sit up over there on that knoll, call them out to here. Maybe we'll even put like a hare out here so we have the scent. Tie him up to a trig. You see that little indentation there? Jimmy just said there's a fox dig out, something. I came over here to investigate. Well, that fox was hungrier than us because it dug a giant pit here. Looks like it's been digging for several hours. And you see all the dirt flung up all around it and the tracks all around here. So it worked really hard for some kind of mouse or some other rodent. Must have heard down in the snow and started digging at it. The fox, you know, deserved the hare more than we did, maybe. Maybe it was hungrier. Yeah. Maybe I have a little bit of sympathy, but not that much. A little bit of sympathy for the fox. It's out here for survival. But so are we. I mean, ultimately, every day is a survival. Yeah. Whether we're eating grocery food or not, we're still out here living. So, yeah, we'll come back. We'll come back over the holidays, Christmas holidays, and we'll try. We'll see what happens. Maybe we have a good chance. There's lots of foxes around, right? Yeah. So, in case you're keeping track, we're 0 for 12 now, and we have 0 for 12. Is that right? 13. Yeah. 0 for 13. So much for being overconfident. We probably should have set twice as many snares to get twice as many rabbits, which would have been all of none.
Maybe we had one.
We had one.
Fox.
But it doesn't count until you eat it.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. You don't really have a hare.
We know the snare worked.
Oh, the snare worked. I mean, there's no question about the snares working. It's about collecting the spoils from the snares. Yeah. So we have, you figure 8 left?
Got bumped a little bit. So we are 0 for 16. 4 more chances.
Freaking amateurs. 0 for 16 snares. But a lot of the stuff happened that I said might happen, like they're moving them out of the way. They're pushing underneath them. They're going around them. So maybe if you would have taken more time to think about the alternate paths you had and then really focus down on putting snares, like not having just one. You know, so what's the point in putting two on the same trail? Which, I mean, it's a valid point.
Yeah.
But if they say, oh, there's something there, and then they can go on the other one, then they go on the other one. But if you have one there and on the alternate path, you've kind of gave yourself some insurance that if you screw up on the first one, on the same hare, because it's not like same trail. I mean, you don't have the time, but go back now and then block off all the alternate routes, or put snares on the alternate routes. So like just double up the number of snares in the same area.
Yeah.
So you're not traveling as far, but you're just kind of covering your bases in case you screw up or the animal foils you.
What's kind of funny is, like, I had 4 snares set the night before you came. We caught 2 on 4 snares.
Right.
Now we've got 20 snares out, and we've checked 16 with 0. Well, we caught 1, but the fox took it.
Yeah.
So the odds are like way different. So you just never know, right?
Well, so hey, we got one for 19 now.
Yeah, we have one more to check.
One more to check up here, and then that's it. No grouse, no nothing. So that was one of those A-frame sets. Like they're an A-frame, and then it just went through it kind of in the middle of the woods. That may be a trick here. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's worth trying both. It's a snowshoe hare, just like all the other ones.
Yep.
Looks like the other character we caught. So you're gonna keep this for your big wall deer?
Yep.
Yeah. Want to eat it now? Just make an impromptu fire and cook it up.
Not that good like that. We know that.
Wow, they're pretty dry.
Pretty chewy.
It's a stew animal, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Enjoy the whole trip all the way through, even when you're doing the tedious, boring pack out. Hope you guys go check out Jeremy, One Wildcrafter. I'll post a link down below. It doesn't take that long to subscribe to him. Maybe you'll give him a chance and watch some of his videos. Maybe you'll enjoy his voyage on this big wild year. And maybe you'll learn something along the way, as I hope you have learned something today about how many snares you need to set in order to ensure that you get a meal, or approximate somewhat catching a meal, or pretending, or helping fox out get meals, because they're hungry too, and they're people like we are. So I'll sign it there. Catch you guys later.
And just a quick update after Chris had to leave, but we left the snares up for a couple more days, and I've been collecting each day for the next 2 days, and there are 8 more hares